you doing on this podcast week? Do you care about your self-care?
Yes.
All right. Being that we care about our self-care, it's always important that you follow the instructions. In today's podcast, we're talking about good instructions. What is good instructions? Let's read. Good instructions is a strategic plan with set steps that is to be completed in order set for the completion of a objective. That is a good plan. You know, all of those steps, procedures in which, somebody would verbalize to you if you're good at retaining information and listening attentively. Because in order for you to follow the instructions properly, you have to be listening to know each and every step. And if it was written down, are you comprehending what you're reading to set out and do and complete, not halfway, little ways, or I started it today, but I'm finished tomorrow? No. Boom, 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 completed. That is good instructions. Good instructions is you following them attentively for your good. Those are good instructions. And the theme of the month for January is goodness. And even in goodness, we have to follow instructions, basic instructions before leaving Earth, because that's where all of this stems from. The Bible. Following those instructions alone can take you a long way. Following the instructions of your elders, your peers, teachers, pastors, political leaders to an extent, you will be in good hands as long as you follow the instructions. So for our first question, we're just going to jump right into the audience, because this is not just for me to rant on, but for you to open up on and express on how following instructions is important, both good and bad. So for our first question to the lovely Tier 1 audience, how important are instructions in your life and why?
Peace, family. How y'all?
Hey.
It's important instructions because it disciplines. It's self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you, like that old saying, teachers in a grasshopper. So sometimes the student could become better than the teacher when you discipline yourself and follow the directions of who is guiding you.
Yes.
A great leader create other leaders.
Yes. With instructions.
Yes, with instructions and guidance and discipline. And me being here under Tier 1, under the people that's lifting me up on the same vibe as me, is teaching me, not only here but outside.
Yes.
So it's a blessing to really take knowledge. I take knowledge for real, because knowledge is wisdom and understanding.
Knowledge is also instruction.
Yes, and I take it, grow from it, you nourish from it. Thank you for letting me share.
Anyone else? Well, how important are instructions in your life and why? Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm Kyle. Tier 1. Good instructions for me is definitely growth. It'll help me grow. Good instructions help me to communicate a little more with others from Tier 1 as well as others on the outside. Also, good instructions that help me communicate with the people that we go out and help.
Yes.
We encourage them. We get encouragement from them too. You know what I'm saying? They're part of helping me stay clean too. They may not think that, but that's a fact though. And like you were saying a little earlier upstairs, and you said it down here before we started, basic instructions before leaving Earth, the Bible. That's the first, I'm going to say great instructions for me. once I can, come to agreements with the Bible, which is the truth, all things will fall in place. Other things will come my way. So,
Thank you. I'll take one more. We'll go on. Okay. How important are instructions in your life and why? Instructions are very important to me because I remember my life where instructions was hard to grasp because the ones that were teaching it to me were still grabbing it themselves. And then it's not that it's a problem because sometimes we don't ask for the life that we have. We're in it. And we're not too savvy with the rules and the instructions because we're new to it, but it's not new to us. So instructions.
Phone vibrator? No, this is a new phone, so I haven't,
Like it's new to us, but the rules aren't.
Yeah, trying to learn how to turn it down. Maybe Bobby pull his out too.
Mine is on vibrate. Yes, because instructions at the time it was hard to grasp because I didn't understand the ones that was teaching it to me, and it took time to grasp the instructions that they was trying to instill into me, instilling accountability, instilling treating your neighbor as thyself, instilling so much, even down to what, like I said earlier, basic instructions before leaving Earth. That was the first book that was given to me, and even in that, as a child, it showed me so much value to instructions that I was overwhelmed with just understanding a piece of it. So as time went by, I started understanding little by little, and finally got it. And it really changed my life. So instructions brought me structure, like Ronald said. It brought me a truth of why instructions is important and why to complete them is important. Because I wouldn't be sitting in this room talking to you if I did not follow instructions. So question number 2. What is the benefit of your completion to your task or objective? Like, in other words, when you follow the instructions and you complete the task in which you were setting out to do, what are the benefits of it?
Follow instructions. Because in my head, well, I ain't gonna say in my head, I know God knocked me off my feet when I had that seizure. And he said, child, I need you to live. I need you to leave that stuff alone. I need you to be around for your grands, your husband, your family. And right now, today, I'm doing that. And your second question was what?
What is the benefit of the completion
The
of your
benefit of
task?
the completion. My benefit is being here today. My completion is to continue going on, doing what it is that I need to do for Michelle, and not go back out there and do what it is that I do and help the people in the community.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm gonna say happiness. It benefits me as far as me being happy. Helps me with my patience. Like I said earlier, the benefits also is communication. Growing, learning how to talk in a perspective way. And not bring forth, some other type of words that don't need to be brought. So yeah, happiness, patience, that's the benefits for me.
Anyone else? Robbie? Lois?
What was the question again?
The question was,
What is the benefit of your completion to your task or objective? Yeah, like when you complete the things that you set out to do by following those instructions, what are the benefits?
The benefit is that it took me to where I need to be, because without the instruction, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like it's like almost like building a house. You have to have the instruction on how you're gonna build it, the foundation and everything. So it helps you along the way, get to where you need to be, to complete whatever you set your mind to do.
The benefit for me is the benefit of what I'm doing right now for this podcast. Yeah. Like that was completion. Cause I could have just came home, just laid in my bed, not even type up nothing, and had nothing completed. Woke up in the morning, come here, and gotta rush to do all of this.
and then I'll be messing up.
Yeah, because you didn't do it on Thursday.
Yeah.
But that's
a lesson.
Comment on that.
That's a lesson. Like sometimes even when you do mess up, right? There's nothing wrong with messing up. That's the beauty of it. You could take all of these broken pieces from your past projects and then create something beyond the expectation of what you try to put along with all the other stuff. Got to take a mess and make a message, right?
Comment on that question you were talking about when you were talking about instructions, right? And by God's grace and mercy, I've been in recovery for 18 years, one day at a time. Amen. And I thank God for the people that He used in my life that gave me instructions, because they've been there and showed me how it worked for them. Yes. And let me know, like encourage me, like if you do this and do that, you too, you can do this. And like I said, by God's grace and mercy, it's been 18 years, one day at a time. And I thank God for using my life to make a difference in the lives of others, the way He used people to make a difference in my life. Because I want to give it back. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And it's Sunday, if God's will, I'll be 65 years old. Hey, oh my God, I couldn't even, and I thank God that, could you imagine if I was still out there, running on my own will, following my own instructions? I wouldn't even be sitting here. And by God's grace and mercy, I'm sitting here. And I'm going to say this, right? We was at a, they have Narcotics Anonymous, they have literature, right? Yes. And yesterday the daily reading was talking about one promise and many gifts. Ooh, I thank God. You know what I'm saying? As long as I continue to do what it is that I need to do, God, oh my God, He's doing some awesome things in my life. And I thank God for that. Like I said, one promise and many gifts. As long as I continue to do what I got to do a day at a time, come on now. There ain't nothing too hard for my daddy. Look, I thank God for giving me another chance and saving my life. So I thank God for those that gave me instructions, that love me back to life. I'm grateful. Yeah.
That's the spirit. Oh my God.
Like I ask God to still work on blessing me with my anointing.
Come on in.
Blessing me and working me on my gift. And blessing me working on my talent.
Yes.
Because they all separate things so I ask God to increase that more. Because, like you said, the instructions, you need all that to put into your life, your mindset. Because it do takes a village, brick by brick, like Auntie said, brick by brick.
What?
Nowadays, some generations missing these bricks. They just. But I just thank God for people like Bobby and Lois and Michelle and all of the people that's really, really there to give you that nourishment that you need. Thank you again for letting me share.
And I want to jump on that brick by brick.
Because we need some masons in our life. Some masonries. Because you can build, you can basically make a brick out of anything, but that don't mean that it's going to be solid. That don't mean it's going to be strong, Because especially like you said, the foundation. if you don't use the proper materials to make this solid, it's not going to be strong. And it takes instructions, following the exact amount of liquid, powder, and you know what I'm saying? To be a mason, you got to know this science. You got to know the measurements to a T, because you will mess that brick up. You'll mess, like, that's somebody's, and the brick I'm speaking of is a person's life, your life, my life. We need that village, because that village brought the strength out of that stone. It brought all that bubbles that was in it that'll help it crack over age and time. All of that's gone. This is a solid brick of God. Like it's only God could have put that together, because the people that was together had God in them to make sure that brick was together. Because the village got to have God. The people got to have God. And then the people behind those people got to have God. You know what I'm saying? Because those bricks are on top of each other, underneath each other, side by side, knuckle and buck, like knuck if you buck, knuck if you. I'm ready to do that for my God right now, for you, for him, for them. I want to be a solid rock for others to stand, because I don't want to be on quicksand. I don't know about others, but I know I don't want to not hear my name on the day I get called home. I don't want to be standing at the gates and hear somebody screaming and be like, oh, I know that's not heaven. Can you imagine you looking at gold gates and you hearing people scream? All because you wasn't a brick. You wasn't a brick. Let me get to this last and final question.
Yeah. One of the things that Webster says about instruction, it says is detailed information on how to operate or assemble something. And most men, when we put toys and stuff together, we just grab the boxes, just start going.
Sometimes we ain't looking at it.
And I always have pieces left over in the box and whatnot. And that's because we don't follow instructions. One of the things that I found out about instructions are they're subtle commands. And it's almost like giving us a choice. You can follow them or you don't have to. And one of the things that people was talking about, reaping the benefits of following directions. What I find out, we are in a world that like to lead. But before we can lead, we have to learn how to follow. And before we do that, we got to have a mindset where we learn how to pay attention.
Yes.
And a lot of times, we be in the room, but not in the room.
Yeah.
So while the information is being passed, we ain't listening. So at the end of it, we're going to ask, what do you say? How we do this? Because we wasn't paying attention.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
One of the benefits is that when we follow instructions, we save ourselves time and energy. And money also, too, because a lot of times when we don't follow instructions, we break things and have to replace them. So I'm learning how, to have some patience, because a lot of times we live in a world of microwaves. We want things to happen in an instant. And sometimes following instructions, we don't get it all the way. Even with recipes are instructions.
That's one of the best ways to look at it.
And if you don't follow the recipe, hey, your cake may not rise.
You're right. Yeah. I like that.
I know that.
Right.
So, instructions are very important to us these days. It teaches us how to follow directions, And not only that, when we follow instructions, we're able to become a leader and teachers, and we can give people what was given to us.
Yes.
And that's what it's really about, passing things on. I'll say one other thing is that we talk about God.
Yes.
And sometimes God, for people who don't believe, is just good ordered directions. So, you know, and that's another thing that we look at it, just following good orderly directions. And that's it.
All right, thank you.
Good orderly directions.
That's why it says, order my steps in your words.
Ooh.
Lead me, guide me every day. Send your anointing, Father, I pray. Order my steps in your words.
That's instructions. How often do I say that? I need to write that down and memorize that. That's how often I'm about to start saying that. Memorize that, right? I might need you to write that down, or just tell me where I can find that, and I'll read it myself. So I'm gonna read this last and final question. Although Bobby did hit the nail on the head with it. Listening and comprehension skills are vital for verbal and written instructions. And we already heard why. Bobby just gave it. It's as simple as, like he said, that last piece. If you don't follow the instructions, at least we know why your cake didn't rise. So people, if you want to have the rise of your life for 2025, or any time that you're ready to take the decision to take your self-care serious, because it is really serious that you get your mind and your soul right now in this time, because it's your rise. So follow the instructions. Do you care about your self-care?
Yeah!